Hold on.
We're peaceful people here. We're peaceful people here.
Edit.
I don't know. So what do you want this one to be about?
What do you want to talk about? I got a message.
Here's the thing about okay. Well, to lead into that, here's the thing about catching on is like what works. I mean, we don't want to be like negative about anything. We don't want the attention to be based on negativity.
Yeah.
We're stand-up comedians.
Yeah.
We're funny guys.
Well, I do want to talk about things that are happening. Okay, one thing I do want to talk about in this podcast is things that are happening in San Antonio. Mm-hmm. Right? So, like, that's current events, whatever. That I like that. It's our city. I don't feel like a lot of people are doing that, especially comics. So that's one thing. Along with that is, like, this thing that is happening in our scene that most of the people that are watching this know about, and I'm sure would like to know what we think. That being said, I don't think we necessarily have to, like, beef, because I don't have any beef.
I have no beef.
So, but I mean, to discuss now, the guy that's doing all this kind of feeds off us discussing it, but also, what do you if what I was talking about happens, and it's like, well, what the fuck you want me to do? Like, I
honestly think doing nothing is the best way to go about, like, just letting it go. I mean, it's harder said than done for sure. I mean, it's easier said than done for sure, because we don't know what part 2 is going to bring. You know, I was
well, apparently it's all me.
But you don't even know if that's true. And see,
that was direct from the horse's mouth, apparently. And
not direct though.
Well,
that's
okay,
the whole thing about.
So
like,
somebody told me that the next video is geared towards me, right? And which is wild, because like, literally, like, go for it. There is nothing.
So if you don't know, there's a documentary, sort of hit piece on people that separated themselves from their former club. They moved on. They did other things, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, the person that's left behind.
Well, not left behind. It was his place. We all used.
How do you
to,
explain it?
Look, we all used to be at a club. We also be at the Tiger. That was our place. That was our home. That we loved it. We rode for it. We died for it. We spent years in there.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
Loved that room. The guy that was running it I honestly looked at like a mentor. Like, I looked at him like an older brother, like somebody who cared for us. And somewhere in there, I think he did. I don't think he never cared for us. Anyway,
no, I think there was always ulterior motive,
and that's where we'll all disagree and we'll all argue is based on that. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
So he ran the room. It was his room, but he stepped away. He was in Austin, so it became our room. It became the place that we would run, and
a majority of the good times that I've had there
was us running it.
Was when he was not around.
There. I'm just, and these are just facts. But it is, it's sort of, but in the way that like when your fucking district manager pops into work, everybody's got to be like,
so bummed.
Get on,
bummed.
It's just like everybody's got to be on tiptoe. Your district manager might be cool. But the fact is that when he's there, everybody's sort of on edge, right? There's always something they're looking for. Anyways, so after a couple of years, one day, this guy popped back in and just started kind of slowly axing people that had been at the club for years. And everybody, one by one, just kind of got told they weren't. And there's argument in here whether they were told we weren't allowed to be there or not. I was told by him directly that I had to take a couple of weeks off. I messaged him multiple times after that, and I was drinking at the time. I'm now, like, I don't know, 16 months sober. Like, I stopped drinking. So I'd even quit drinking and then hit him up after that to ask if I could come back. To which I got this long message about how he had heard I was talking shit and all this, and I needed to, it was bullshit. So now they're saying I'm not banned, but clearly From him, I am. So we all got cut for different reasons. Some of them valid. Mine was valid.
I left on my own. I escaped.
I was being a fucking a drunk ass. I was in the height of my alcoholism. So yeah, I was just getting drunk all the time, going on stage, being a dumbass, getting into fights like with my arguments with my girlfriend at the time, just stupid drunk shit. And so that's why I left. Anyways, people left for various reasons, or were told they were not allowed to leave, or had to take breaks, or whatever.
Or maybe not felt welcome anymore.
So that happened, and then we all left, and then we started our own thing, which is where we're at now. We started our own thing, the station, and it was all the comics that left there, and we were happy. The room started doing great. The room was popping. He got some new people in over there, and guess what? He just put in low end open micers to run stuff, and then turned the room that we loved, that was like an honor to be a part of.
I mean, I don't want to offend anybody, like, but
look,
newer people.
No, people that shouldn't have been running things. He ran out people that have been doing it for years and put in people that were not qualified, even by their own admission. The guy that runs it, I honestly never had an issue with the guy until he just started doing all sorts of power trip stuff, and now just talks shit about the room, about our room, and talks shit about everything, which is fine. I don't honestly know him or care about him, so I honestly don't care. But out of nowhere, the room turned into like a sign-up mic. So it wasn't an open mic, but you had to sign up. Anyways, they started doing their own thing, and we were doing our own thing, and all of a sudden there was some beef with some shirts and some equipment.
Yeah, that was the only time where people weren't allowed to do both spots, is because us at the station had some equipment and merch stolen from the people at the Tiger. And so we were just like,
specifically the main dude.
So we were just like, well,
we came here with this guy who was working here, who he knew from some, I don't, just speculations as to how they know each other. Anyways, they both came down here and took some lights and took some shirts, and then was confronted about it and returned it. That was the thing.
Yeah. So once everything was returned, we did say like, oh, if you agree with that type of behavior, we don't want to work with you. So don't, can't do both.
Look, people were angry. You would be angry, right? People were angry. They said, if you're going to do that room, don't do our room, blah, blah.
Yeah.
After every we all talked.
Once we got everything back, we got our merch back, we got our equipment back. We're just like, okay, well, there's no separation. You can do both.
Whatever, do your thing.
We have people do both shows every weekend.
To this day, right now, currently, do not care if you're listening to this and you're a comic and you want to do both rooms and you think that we are going to have
time.
Just so you know, if there's anybody that says anything out there directly from us, does not matter. Get your stage time. I love that room. We love.
Yeah, it was a great room.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the room. We don't have any problem. Go do it. We don't care. Anyways, behind the scenes during all this time, just recently, the guy that was in charge over there released a video of edited footage of him that he got from people that didn't know he was filming, put together like a TMZ hit piece trying to take all of us down. He got my ex-girlfriend saying, when she apparently was wasted, didn't know he was filming, saying I was abusive. Hey guys, guess what? You get a girl drunk and ask her what she thinks about her ex.
Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, look, facts are facts. But anyways, he did it for all of us. He attacked all of us.
He was
individually.
over 2 years. Over 2 years, he was creating this hit piece. Misquoted a lot of people. Took people out of context to create his or to feed his narrative.
Let me put it to you this way:
what he wanted to tell people.
Every single person in that video has said that they are upset by it and did not know what was happening and did not
agree to it.
Yeah, they're like, it was edited. So that's that. And the reason it's coming up now, and the reason we're even
apparently he's not done
about it, is because he's been telling people that he's making another one. Again, we're San Antonio comedy. This is not L.A. This is not New York. We're not even Austin.
You're not even a scene, really.
Nobody cares about us at all. And he's spending all of his time editing a video. And I got word that apparently his next video is geared towards me specifically.
Dude, what if it's not even true? What if it's not even true? What if all he has is all he had?
I mean, but that's great. But the fact of the matter is like, to spend so much time on it is wild. Like, we're gone. We don't mess with them. He says, so apparently what I've been told through multiple sources is he wants an apology from me. For what? I don't know, because the last message I sent to him on Instagram or on Facebook was, I love you. And I sent that in our group text, and everybody all mad at me because I was like, I love you. I hope you're okay, and you're always welcome at the room. I sent y'all a text where I said, because I don't care. And then he says that there was an issue with Eventbrite, that we didn't take down the Eventbrite. When I look, and he says that people were paying for tickets, that none of us got any money. None. If anything, we just set up reoccurring events, and when we tried to take them down,
the whole thing is like he's like spreading lies that have no facts to him.
He said that we are the reason that his EMS thing got canceled.
I don't know about that.
I got told that apparently, because I called my ex and was like, because she had been messaging him. I was like, what did he say? She was like, he wants you to apologize. And then he says that it's y'all's fault that the EMS, he did something for EMS service where he said all the money that they were making at the Tiger was going towards this. None of us know anything about that, and none of us think money was going towards the EMS or anybody at all.
I don't think it was a registered nonprofit.
No, but apparently it was, and if there's evidence, cool. But to us, we never saw it. There was never any evidence of that. But apparently it's our fault that got taken away, and he's so upset. So again, I am publicly, I don't have any beef with you. If I did anything that caused you or the club any issues, I apologize. This was years ago at this point. So grow up. Get over it.
I don't know. I am interested to see what the piece is, though.
I would love to see what it is.
I found my part funny. At first, I was upset, and then I was like flattered because like the guy had to watch like hours of my podcast.
Oh yeah, to try to find
something that he could chop up to misquote and all that stuff. So I appreciate that. I found it very flattering. There's more out there. He got mad.
Hey, watch a couple times. How about you subscribe?
He got so mad about the first show that we had here that I hosted.
Oh yeah.
I was just like,
see,
hold on. Myself. I was feeling myself. We had a great crowd. It was a great first night. Then I led the crowd into saying, "Fuck the blind tiger."
All right,
and everybody said it.
So this is the thing. You got to look at this like a breakup. It was a really.
That's exactly what it is.
It was a really shitty breakup.
That's exactly what
everybody got hurt. Everybody's feelings were fucked. So some people do some things during a breakup. Some people do others. So like my thing in the breakup was to be like, I'm gonna make myself stronger and better and blah, 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 blah. That's why when I grew my hair out, got my nose pierced, turned into a real fairy. Now. That's me working on myself. Pat went the anger route right when it happened.
I'm not even angry at...
Not angry. You were just a little... Let's call it... If we're being fair, we got to call everything what it is. It was a little spiteful. You led the crowd into...
I spent 5 years...
I spent 5 years of my fucking life.
My life.
We all... Yeah. Yes.
Building that... No, I'm not saying just me alone.
No. I get what you're saying.
I've produced shows there. I had a show that was picking up, that was, getting momentum. And for it to all be taken away...
Yeah, it was horrible. It really sucked.
I
felt like we were engaged, and like she like called it off at the altar. Like it was just like nobody expected it. It was out of nowhere. Well, I guess
I'm not wasted because whether or not I still have that room, I took away a lot of things that were great about it. I mean, I became a fucking better comic.
That's what I was going to say. We would not be the comics that
if it wasn't for that room.
If it wasn't for that room.
But it has nothing to do with the people running it. It was the fact that that room, that space that once belonged to us, became no longer available to us, and that made us angry. And not angry at anybody individually or specifically. It was just that that space was no longer ours. But we found a new place.
You know, I think this might be a better way than just a breakup. It was like you get with a girl who already has a kid, and then you become the father. You know what I mean? Like, so wait for it. Wait for it. You're gonna let me get to the end. And you love the kid, and then you spend years like raising the kid, and the kid feels like yours. And then when she breaks up with you, she's like, yeah, and you can't see him anymore. It's like, but that's my fucking kid now. That's my child, and you're just taking it away and toying with me, using this fucking kid, using this thing that I love so much, that I've built, that I've helped to watch grow, and now you're just being like, well, guess what? There's another man in my life, and it's just some weird open micer from El Paso that's gonna run it.
I would make in that kind of scenario, I would think that I was the kid.
Why were you the kid?
And
who was the tiger?
The room
was your
was
daddy?
the dad.
Okay, well, you drank fucking
And then
spider sodas.
White Cotton was.
Oh, you don't want to call White Cotton your daddy?
Nah, if anything, he's a. I'm not
He's not my dad.
He's not my dad.
I'm not gonna call him dad.
He's not my dad. Oh. I'm not gonna call him nothing. He was a judge.
No, no, he did. Look, I won't take anything away. What he did, even though it was psychotic in a lot of ways, as far as like the dojo and stuff, we grew from it. It helped us. There was things to learn, and I still, when we run writing things now, I still use aspects of the dojo in my everyday, like when I'm writing and stuff like that. But like, we did it. It's almost like we went through the boot camp. We went through the SEALs training. We did all the hard shit. And then one day they're like, "Oh, America isn't a country anymore. Like you don't have anywhere to go. Like you're just bye. Go make your own thing." It's
one thing is like it's not what it was before, and it's never going to be what we made it.
With the tiger.
Yeah. The tiger's not what it was before.
Well, and now
it doesn't have that same
energy, and that's why our room has the energy that it has, because it's the comics inside. It's the way we run it. It's the systems. And some people want to act like, oh, y'all guys are gatekeeping or doing this and that. When in reality, like to get into the tiger at one point was an honor. Like it was hard.
It was tough.
It meant you were like making it.
It meant that you gave a fuck, and it meant that you wanted it, and it meant that
you were good enough.
You
weren't just an open mic or something. Like there was potential. Okay.
Yeah.
So our room is the same thing. That's what we're just doing the same thing here. And like I have people because I'm doing the booking, and I have people messaging me just being like, "Hey, can I get a spot?"
Yeah.
It's not like that. And not to say like only certain people, but it's like, come here, hang out.
See what it's
about. So you want to do this. So you want to be a part of the room. Help bark, help seat. Because that's what we had to do there. Nobody just came in and just, oh, hey, I'm new to town. You mind if I get some spots? Or like, hey, what's up? I know you around this room. It's like, no, you come in. We had to hang out around the room for weeks. Mm-hmm. First off, you had to get vouched. 2 people had to vouch for you from the room. Then you got to be allowed to come hang out at the room to watch. And then you were allowed to help seat. And then then they would bring you to dojo.
Yeah, to dojo.
And then you would come to dojo for weeks. And I mean, hours.
Just punishing
we would have to be in that basement. When, like, literally.
Being told, tell us your deep, darkest secret.
Tell me about the time you were. Tell me about the time this happened. It was like,
well, yeah, dude.
And it was like the point, like literally, it was to make us cry. Now, here's the thing, I got some great bits out of that. Because guess what, comedy.
I could have done without it.
Well, hold on, and also maybe I'm just the type of person that I take very well to like, not abuse, but like that sort of harsh thing. But like, the thing that a lot of guys that are getting into comedy now that they don't understand is like they're scared to talk about real shit. You're scared to talk about like vulnerable stuff, right? Like, oh, why would I want to talk about this, talk about that?
Yeah.
And if they do want to talk about vulnerable stuff, they do it in a way that's just like harsh. It's in your face. Hey, here's the time this happened, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, well, now you're just saying shocking things.
How are you going to make it funny?
But the way that we were made to dive into our own thoughts and break it down. And yes, it was tedious. And yes, it fucking sucked. And yes, we talked about things that we didn't want to talk about. We would get into something, or other people would hear you say something and be like, oh, have you thought about this thing? Like, why would you do this and this? And you would start thinking about it. I mean, I got my story about having an exorcism performed on me. I did that on Worth Repeating on TPR. Mm-hmm. That whole story came just out of him being like, what's the worst thing that happened? Tell me something bad. Tell me what's around. I was like, I don't fucking know. And it was just a repressed memory that came out. And on the surface, it's like, oh, that's a horrible thing. And then we talked about it and talked about it.
That you were forced to bring it up because he was like, you have to say something. You have to
you're just forcing your
And all he was
brain.
doing was just gathering information to use against you later on.
We have found out later. It's like, oh, all that was, literally just to use against us.
So,
but still, I will never walk away, just like a relationship. I'm never going to walk away from a relationship and be like, well, fuck that. It was a waste of my life. It's over. It's like, no.
Yeah.
What did we learn? What do we take away?
What do we take away?
Because we fell in love with that person at one point. At one point, we were in love with the room. And when White Cotton would come in, we would be like, oh yeah, what can we do? And anytime we'd get a compliment, we would just, oh, God, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Look.
Because that's how cult leaders talk to people.
Exactly.
You know what I like about you? You know what I like? You know why you're smart? Or you know why people think you're funny? Or you know why
what you do is you break people down, make them feel like they're absolutely nothing.
Build them up the way you want them.
And then you give them a little bit of power, like running the 12 o'clock, not the mic, which really, in the big scheme of things, is so nothing. It is so minuscule in the big scheme of things. But when you break someone down and make them feel like nothing, and then you give them that little bit of power, they feel like something. They are worth something, at least in your eyes.
Yeah.
And so it's cult leadership.
It's a cult leadership. Mind fuck. But now he's going to film school to make hit pieces on people that are no longer part of his cult, are no longer buying into his bullshit.
Dude, that's so funny. You know who else does that? Scientology.
Yeah.
People that leave.
Yeah.
They literally make videos about them. They go after them. They like.
Very interesting.
That's wow. Isn't that crazy? Y'all guys that's a real time thing. Think about it.
Very interesting.
Wow. Who else waits till people leave and then
to destroy and then to try their best to destroy
attack them? We are not going out. I mean, besides, look, we talk shit amongst ourselves or to other comics, be like, fuck that room. We're allowed to do that. We're allowed to, that's not a crazy thing
but
to do.
We're not actively trying to tear it down.
We're not telling you can't.
And nobody vandalized your car, dude. I don't even know what you drive, dude. Stop.
Oh, is that a thing? Yeah, but who the
Stop
fuck
telling people that we vandalized your car. Like, just
who the fuck care? Like, we don't care. So now you're coming after us, making these videos and spending all. It literally is like culture, Scientology. Just so anybody who works the room, involves themselves with the room. Once again, do the room.
Do your thing.
Please, it's great. But just so you know.
It wasn't always like that. It wasn't always like free to come and go.
But just so you also know, any interactions that you have with a guy that runs that, he will flip on you one day. There's nobody that he doesn't flip on. So it's coming. Have fun. Enjoy it.
And I don't trust none of y'all.
Yeah, I do. I think you all have, I think you're all, I could save you.
No. That was a whole episode on the tiger.
I mean.
Well, whatever, man.
It happens. Whatever. It happens. It happens. We didn't mean to, but you got us cooking, baby.